Tennis center officials seeking tax relief through a municipal capital facility designation. Good evening and thank you for joining us. The long-awaited construction of Thunder Bay's indoor tennis facility could be just around the corner. Tennis center officials are seeking City Council approval on Monday night to designate the outdoor courts as well as the proposed tennis bubble as a municipal capital facility. That would exempt the tennis center from some taxation and in turn lower operating costs. Riley McManus has the story.
The tennis center at Chapels Park is seeking approval to be a designated municipal capital facility. That would allow the facility and the land to be exempt from municipal taxation to help their bottom line. The city would not be responsible financially for the new indoor bubble if it's designated a municipal capital facility, as that would fall on the tennis center. Kelly Robertson is the general manager of community services and says the project could have been at risk without this designation, and that's why council's approval is necessary.
The facilities would be exempt from school and municipal property taxes, and the reason for that is generally because the assets would be considered to be offering a public benefit to our community. And there are conditions in place that the city and the tennis center would need to satisfy in order to uphold that designation should council approve it.
The municipal capital facility designation is the next step, along with the two sides reaching a lease agreement regarding the tennis bubble project, which was originally supposed to begin construction last fall.
It is going to be a world-class facility.
Tennis center director Jamie Grieve says if everything goes according to plan, the projected cost of the 15-court indoor tennis bubble would total $4 million. The project has received funding from all different levels, including $500,000 from FedNor, $1.5 million from the city, $1 million from the province, and $200,000 from Tennis Canada and Rogers, which is the title sponsor with naming rights.
It's really important to keep costs down for users, right? We want to be inclusive. We want to provide a very affordable sport and recreation facility with tennis and pickleball. So that's really the main thing. But
Grieve adds they want to grow the tennis community to new users, attract more social opportunities, host major sporting events, all the while promoting health and well-being and allowing equitable access to all.
But we want to build tennis, right? We want to have juniors that are able to compete. You know, we're up over 2,000 members, and with the indoor, we look to be 3,000 to 4,000 users.
The outer cover for the bubble is already built and waiting to be shipped. Grieve says if the municipal capital facility designation is approved at Monday night's meeting and ratified the next week, work on the project could begin as soon as the contractors are ready to go.
And we're just really happy to bring this to fruition finally.
Riley McManus, TBT News.
Thunder Bay Police have charged a city woman with arson following a fire on Tuesday at an apartment complex on the city's south side. Fire crews and EMS responded to McIver Court, where a fire broke out inside an apartment on the main floor. The smoke damage reached many floors above, and dozens of residents had to be evacuated. Most of the damage was to the first floor, however. Those residents were put up in hotels for the night by the local Red Cross. Most of the others were able to return to their units once the power was restored. 40-year-old Danielle Furness-Guiguette of Thunder Bay has been charged with arson with disregard for human life and breach of probation. She appeared in court today and remains in custody. Police have charged a 30-year-old man with child pornography offenses. Austin Edward Grimes Hale is accused of possessing and accessing child porn. He turned himself into police today after officers seized electronics from a home 2 weeks ago. Hale appeared in court today and has been released with conditions. One woman was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries today after a collision between a motorcycle and a pickup truck in Westfort. The crash occurred just before noon on James Street South near Gore Street. According to city police, the motorcycle rider was transported to hospital. No injuries were reported by the other driver. The motorcycle suffered significant damage and the intersection was closed for several hours while officers investigated. Paramedic services across the province and here in the Thunder Bay District are already experiencing major staffing shortages, and they're now staring down the barrel of a possible year without any fresh Ontario graduates to bolster their numbers. Justin Hardy explains.
The consortium of colleges throughout Ontario are working toward converting the paramedicine program from a 2-year diploma to a 3-year applied degree. Superior North EMS Chief Shane Muir says if it all goes ahead 2 years from now, the transition would pose significant challenges to recruitment 2 years later.
And then that would extend the school and education system for another year, which would result in a gap year where we would have no graduates. So that's something that we're trying to plan for, and we're really trying to staff our ranks in the next few years to ensure that we have used those additional staff, so we have good coverage going forward into the future, knowing that that gap year is coming.
The colleges have been working on this proposal for roughly a year and included strategies to mitigate that gap year.
If we were to have the program start in the fall of 26, then yes, the first time we would experience a gap, potential gap would be in the fall of 2028. That's totally dependent upon when the proposal would be approved, because that would then change when we would have a start date of new graduates.
College Dean Shane Strickland says they hope the new version of the paramedic program will help ensure that more students are completing it by staggering the workload over another year. He adds that the new 3-year course is also planned to include additional resiliency training.
So the resiliency training, of course, will be addressing mental health issues that paramedics may experience in the field, and help them with self-care and self-coping mechanisms so that they can be successful students and successful paramedics upon graduation.
The proposal is currently in front of the Ministry of Colleges and Universities, and the date it could take effect is entirely dependent on when it is approved. However, Superior North EMS is planning for that estimated gap year in 2028. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Turning to provincial politics now, it's been a whirlwind week for Ontario's newly appointed Minister of Energy and Electrification, Stephen Lecce. Lecce was in Darlington today near Oshawa to announce the completion of the first phase of site preparation for the province's first small modular reactor. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the details.
Stephen Lecce's first event in his new role as Minister of Energy and Electrification marked a milestone with the end of the first phase of a project at Darlington.
As we work to build small modular reactors to energize our province, our country, and literally the world.
For critics, it's a frustrating passing of the baton.
It doesn't make sense to spend billions of dollars on new nuclear reactors when wind and solar power can keep our lights on at less than half the cost.
Without the burden of nuclear waste. But it's a building block Lecce says Ontario can't afford to leave out.
This is a different reality than we were even 10 years ago. We are literally going to need to build more energy.
Energy demand in Ontario is going to climb steadily over the next 25 years, up 60% by the time we get to 2050.
We will not pursue a path, an ideological path, that will deny some forms of energy when we need all of them. We need nuclear and natural gas and renewables to be part of our mix.
It's pushing up output at existing gas plants, maybe opening more that troubles Gibbons.
That's going in absolutely the wrong direction when the world is on fire.
Nuclear projects like this are part of Ontario's long-term energy future. But I asked the minister about some more pressing concerns in a warming climate with more volatile weather. Forecasters have predicted a hotter than usual summer for Ontario. It means more reaching for relief from the AC as the temperature soars.
We're confident to have reliable and affordable and clean energy for families this summer.
The Independent Electricity System Operator says Ontario should be okay for energy the next 2 summers, but may have to ask other places for up to 2,000 megawatts if we face severe weather. That's a little more than what's needed to power Ottawa through a summer.
We have time now to invest in the cleaner and lower cost options to get us off dirty gas.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Back in our region now, 2 people were sent to hospital late yesterday afternoon following a single vehicle crash on Highway 102. OPP say it happened around 4:30 near the Law Road intersection. Eyewitnesses say the pickup truck struck a utility pole and then rolled several times in the ditch. The pole was broken in half with the top half left dangling in the air. OPP say the driver and passenger were transported to hospital by EMS to be treated for what's described as serious but non-life-threatening injuries. There's no word yet on whether any charges will be laid. Since the late 1800s, the mining industry has played a crucial role in our local economy, and today Mayor Ken Boshkoff proclaimed June 15th as Mining Day here in the city. The festivities kicked off this morning at City Hall with speeches from those involved in the industry. They also recognized women in mining as the main theme for this year and announced the annual Mining Day exhibit and barbecue at the Marina Park this Saturday. The event closed with a proclamation from the mayor, followed by a ceremonial flag raising.
Oh yeah, so today we're here proclaiming Saturday to be Mining Day in Thunder Bay. It's something we've been doing for 9 years now, so next year is going to be our 10th anniversary. It's very exciting to have the event proclaimed by the city, to have recognition as it being a very important event, because it is. Our event has grown significantly over the last couple of years.
What an exemplary showing off of the community and the success that's happening right before our eyes, not only here in Thunder Bay, but throughout the Northwest. So with our partnering communities and all of the associations that are coming together, we really have something going, and it's a day to really celebrate success.
Mining Day activities will run from 10 to 4 on Saturday, followed by a barbecue, with all proceeds going toward mining scholarships for women. Well, turning our attention to the weather now, and Fiona, you warned us that it would be a little bit tough to predict over the next few days, and that certainly was the case today. It seemed like we had a little bit of everything.
Yes, the only thing that was consistent about today's weather was the complete inconsistency of it. We had gray skies, then suddenly bright sunshine and nothing but blue skies, and wait 2 minutes, we had a thunderstorm pop up. So it really was a little of everything. And if we take a look at the system that was moving through, it started out this morning fairly solid, but it's been moving primarily in a southeasterly direction, but it has still headed towards Thunder Bay, and we still have a chance of a few more showers this evening, possibly even a thunderstorm before it's all said and done. Now, here in the city, we had a low of 9. We still warmed up to a high of 23 around noon. But of course, with increasing clouds, we had the rain move in and we've had thunderstorms, which has brought the temperature down a little bit from that high earlier today. Similar situation across much of the region. To the west, they started out kind of iffy with a couple of pop-up showers, but at this time, partly cloudy skies and fairly consistent temperatures. 19 in Red Lake, Kenora, Sioux Lookout, 20 in Dryden and Fort Francis. A little warmer as you head into Atikokan. And Greenstone had periods of rain, a lot of cloud. Right now they're getting a break from the showers. They're at their daytime high of 17. Along the North Shore, Marathon and Wawa have been dealing with some pretty gusty southwest winds right off the lake. That's kept temperatures definitely cooler there at 12 and 13 Celsius respectively. Sault Ste. Marie actually warmed up to 25 around noon, 1 o'clock or so. But that was before the rain started. They had increasing clouds, and then the last 3 or 4 hours, it's just been a series of showers and thunderstorms, which is what they're at right now at 19 Celsius. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we're looking still, as I said, at a risk of showers, possibly a thunderstorm in there, and then it will start to clear overnight with a low of 7. However, those variable skies that we saw today are expected to continue tomorrow, not with the rain, but definitely a lot of fluctuations. So even though it may start out sunny, we've got clouds that will roll in. Then we've got more risk of showers during certain periods. It'll come and go over the next 24 to 48 hours. But here's the good news. If you want more summer-like temperatures, well, it's definitely going to be warmer as we head into the weekend. We're looking at moving up into the mid-20s, so add a few more degrees to our daytime high, and hopefully Sunday we'll have a nice mix so people can get out and really enjoy it.
Okay, we'll take that. We don't mind the rain during the week. We want the sunshine and the nice conditions.
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping, yes. Thanks a lot, Fiona. All right, we told you yesterday that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in Italy for G7 meetings, and some big news coming from that session today. The G7 nations have agreed to commit $50 million to Ukraine. We'll have details on that story and more when your news hour continues right after the break.
Another reminder to Putin, we're not backing down. In fact, we're standing together against this illegal aggression.